interpreter is Chola Kauma and Jason Manda. Time now to look at business that was considered on the floor of the House yesterday, Thursday, 9th March 2023.
All right, so yesterday, Madam Speaker did make an announcement. That's Madam First Deputy Speaker. She did make an announcement. She reminded the House that on Thursday, 2nd March 2023, the Honorable Mr. Second Deputy Speaker had directed the Honorable Minister of Health to issue a ministerial statement on Thursday, 9th March 2023 on the outbreak of typhoid in some parts of Petauke Central Parliamentary constituency. That's following a matter of urgent public importance that was raised by Mr. Emmanuel J. Banda, Member of Parliament for Petauke Central. Madam First Deputy Speaker informed the House that the ministerial statement will be issued in the course of next week.
In the second announcement, Madam First Deputy Speaker reminded the House that the last day for debating the motion of thanks to the President's special address, which commenced on 28th February 2023, would be Thursday, 16th March 2023. And so Madam First Deputy Speaker informed the House that by practice in the last 3 days, starting from Tuesday, 14th March 2023, priority would be given to the Honorable Ministers to debate the motion and respond to the issues raised by the backbench.
And so after those two announcements, the House went on to consider question for oral answer number 189, understanding order number 76, and the House also considered questions for oral answers numbers 190 and 191, understanding order number 74.
Thereafter, the Member of Parliament for Kembe, Ms. Kasune, moved a motion titled Adopt Report of the Zambian Delegation to the 52nd Preliminary Assembly Session of the SADC Parliamentary Forum held in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, from 4th to 11th December 2022 for the second session of the 13th Second National Assembly laid on the table of the House on 22nd February 2023. And so this motion was seconded by Chinsali Member of Parliament, Mr. Kalalu Mukosa.
Thereafter, there was resumption of debate on thanks His Excellency the President's address, a motion moved by Ms. Imelda Munashabantu of Mapatizia, and it being 1840 hours, Madam First Deputy Speaker interrupted the proceedings, and the debate on the motion stood adjourned. On the floor of the House was Buponyama Member of Parliament, Mr. Ken Siachusumo, debating this particular speech, and so we do expect him to finish off his debate today. Madam First Deputy Speaker joined the House yesterday at 1841 hours. Just a brief of business that was considered on the floor of the House yesterday. Do stand by as we look at today's business.
You are tuned in to Parliament Television. Time now to look at business that is expected to be considered on the floor of the House today, Friday, 10th March 2023.
Absolutely, like every other Friday, we have honored the Vice President's question time, a 45-minute segment that will come up. And the House is expected to consider 3 questions for oral answer, understanding order number 74. And just about now, we'll have a look at some of these questions.
The first question, which is question number 192, will come from Isoka Member of Parliament, Ms. Nakaponda, and she's directing a question to the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development. She wants to find out why the construction of the Isoka Mbesuma Kasama Road has stalled, and when the project will resume, and what the cost of the outstanding works on the project was as of June 2022, and what the time frame for the completion of the project is.
Question 193 is expected to come from Mr. Chanda of Kanchivia to ask the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development when the rehabilitation of the Mpika Kasama Road will be completed and what has caused the delay in completing the project.
Question number 194 will come from Musanzala, Member of Parliament, Mr. Daka, and he's directing his question to the Minister of Health. He wants to find out when the government will commence construction of the following main hospitals in Musanzala Parliamentary Constituency. That's Nyampande, Misolo, Ndambwe, Chikuse, Riverside, Sonja, Mwanika, and Muzenje.
And so there you have it. Those are the 3 questions that will be considered on the floor of the House, understanding order number 74, and thereafter we are going to have resumption of debate On thanks, His Excellency the President's address, a motion moved by Mapatija Member of Parliament, Mr. Imelda Munashabantu, and seconded by Kantanshi lawmaker, Mr. Anthony Mumba. And yesterday on the floor of the House, we had Mr. Siachisumo of Lufanyama debating this particular motion. We do expect him to finish off his debate today. Like we mentioned yesterday, Madam Speaker reminded the House that the last day for debating the motion of thanks to the President's special address, which commenced on 20th February 2023, would be Thursday, 16th March 2023. And Madam Speaker, First Deputy Speaker informed the House that by practice in the last 3 days, starting from Tuesday, 14th March 2023, priority would be given to honorable ministers to debate the motion and respond to the issues raised by the backbench. There you have it on your screen, the arrival of the Speaker's procession. Do stay tuned right here on Parliament Television.
Honorable members of Parliament, Madam Speaker.
Dancing of Zambia, proud and free, land of wealth and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for the right. We want freedom's fight, oh, one, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by those who blend. Let us, all her people, join as one, brothers under the sun. Oh, one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace in Zambia's sky, like a noble eagle in its flight. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free. Praise be to God, praise be, bless our great Zambia, Zambia, Zambia. Green and we stand under the flag of our land. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free.
Prayer. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessings descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. matters of urgent public importance, the Honorable Member for Pambashe.
I'm very grateful, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my matter is related is directed to the Vice President, who's leader of government business and in charge of cabinet office.
You can proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, according to the Auditor General's report that was commissioned to review the payroll, year 2020 to 2021, Madam Speaker, we commend the action by the executive for making a decisive decision on the Minister of Finance staff who were allegedly drawing allowances that could not be accounted for. But, Madam Speaker, the Auditor General's report of 2020 to 2021 and against the cabinet circular that prohibited people that are involved in political activities to draw salaries on the government payroll. The Auditor General's report did mention one of your members of parliament that after being elected as a member of parliament in August 2021, continued drawing salaries up to January of 2022, drawing double salaries, and as at July 2022, this recovery had not been made. And, Madam Speaker, obtaining money by false pretense is a criminal offense. Madam Speaker, getting pecuniary advantage because of your office is a criminal offense. Is I honor the Vice President in order, Madam Speaker, to sit quiet and not to take the action against the Member of Parliament for Solwezi East. Honorable Dr. Katakwe, who continued drawing salaries amount to 135,000 kwacha for the period August 2021 to January 2022. I seek your serious guidance, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Cecilia? The clerk, do we allow points of order? Do we allow points of order? Okay. Order, honorable members. There is a point of order. The Deputy Chief Whip, what is your point of order?
Yes, Madam Speaker, I stand with consent of the procedures of the House according to Standing Order number 65. The honorable member who has just been speaking has raised consent against the member of parliament who is in the House when the rules are clear, honorable members, that we do not debate ourselves and where there are ways and means on how to bring those distribute, Madam Speaker. I seek your serious ruling on this matter. And the member cannot defend himself right now as we are in the House.
Order,
I seek your serious
honorable
ruling,
members,
Madam
order.
Speaker.
The Deputy Chief Whip, thank you for that point of order, which I had prepared in my ruling, because we are supposed to respond to these matters that are brought. And in my ruling, I don't want to preempt my ruling on the matter that has been raised. We'll wait for my ruling. We proceed. The honorable member from Pika.
I'm grateful, Madam Speaker. I rise on a matter of urgent public importance pursuant to Standing Order number 134 directed at the Minister of Home Affairs.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, last year, our nation was engulfed with sadness when abductors of mobile money agents were arrested. Madam Speaker, it was discovered that 11 or so female mobile money agents were abducted by criminal elements. Even big names, Madam Speaker, were mentioned. And today, Madam Speaker, in News Diggers today's edition, it is headlined, "Abductors Escape from Prison as Correctional Officers Shoot Down One." Madam Speaker, let me also hasten to commend this skillful journalism exhibited by this journalist from News Diggers. Madam Speaker, the abductors are on the loose right now. The nation, the whole nation is worried. The female folk is worried about their safety. Even we, the male folks, are also worried because some of these could be homosexuals. Madam Speaker, I therefore direct this matter of urgent public importance at the Minister of Home Affairs so that he can update the nation and assure the nation on the safety of the Zambian people, more especially the mobile money agents. Madam Speaker, I lay the newspaper of Diggers today's edition on the table. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Petauke.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving the good people of Petauke this opportunity to raise the matter of urgent public importance. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the good people of Petauke, especially in the private sector, they were very happy when the new Dawn government, and thank you, the new Dawn government, the leader of government business, thank you a lot for upgrading, for increasing the minimum wage in the private sector. In the private sector, Madam Speaker, when the minimum wage was increased, the good people of Petauke, especially the workers, they were very happy. But yesterday, Madam Speaker, I had more than 30 workers who work for the bakery who are still getting paid 30 kwacha a day. And they came to complain, Madam Speaker, about the minimum wage they are getting. But the employer is threatening, Madam Speaker, to say you lay them off. But, Madam Speaker, this matter is directed to the Minister of Labor. Is he in order? She? No,
Continue, Honorable Member for Petauke, please.
Is she in order, Madam Speaker, to sit quietly whilst the youths and the people in the private sector, they are threatened to lose jobs? And you know, Madam Speaker, right now, things are hard. You can't be getting 30 kwacha, whereby transport alone, it's more than that, Madam Speaker. And they'll be forced maybe to start stealing, which all of them, maybe they'll be sent also to prison. And I won't have my voters by 2026, Madam Speaker. I thank you, Madam Speaker. I seek your guidance, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Petauke, this matter is addressed to who?
To Minister of Labor, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Mwembeshi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise on a matter of public importance pursuant to our standing orders 134. Can I continue? Yes. Go ahead. I have to wait first.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this urgent public importance matter is actually addressed to Her Honor, the Vice President, and the government itself, the executive. Madam Speaker, the thieves of yesterday have gathered. The thieves of yesterday have gathered. Madam Speaker, Your Honor, the Vice President, the thieves of yesterday have gathered. These thieves.
The Honorable Member for Mwembeshi. We don't know which thieves you are talking about. Can you please be more specific to the matter?
I will explain, Madam Speaker. I just want to emphasize why I said 4 times the word thieves. Because these thieves, they have gathered, and they are actually getting so much courageous, such that they are seated here in this house and making this government very difficult.
Order, honorable members, order. Order, honorable members. The honorable member for Mwembeshi. We do not have thieves in this house. Order, honorable members on my left. The whip on my left. Can we have order? Honorable members, as we are bringing these matters to the attention of the executive, let's use parliamentary words. And if you remember very well, I've always guided that in this house, we only have members of parliament. Now, if you start bringing issues of thieves being in this house, what will the public think of this house? You are all honorable members, and the public out there, they know that in this parliament, there are honorable members of parliament. So the honorable member who is on the floor, please, can you withdraw and be more focused on the matter that you are trying to raise?
Madam Speaker, I want to withdraw the word thief to replacing it Nimashori. Yes, plunderers. Plunderer. I withdraw the word thief. Plunderers, Madam Speaker, plunderers.
Order.
But why are we allowing that disorder?
Order, honorable members, leader of opposition.
No, why are we allowing that disorder?
Order, honorable members. The honorable member for Mwembeshi will not continue. Because I had guided to say, can you withdraw the word thief? order, honorable members, we make progress. Yesterday there was a matter that was raised. I'll start with that matter that was omitted for a ruling. The honorable member from Pika had raised the matter regarding water problems in a community called Chikwanda, found in his constituency. The honorable member for Pika, the matter is not admissible because it's not a national-wide matter. I would urge you to discuss this matter with the Honorable Minister for Water and Sanitation, and also since that water is very important, the Honorable Member from Pika will raise an urgent question. We move on to the matter that was raised by the Honorable Member for Pambashi, talking about the Auditor General report. He brought out a lot of issues, like some staff were drawing allowances and they were arrested. Then he went on to talk about a member of parliament who is seated here. Honorable members, according to the standing orders that we have, we are not allowed to discuss ourselves. We cannot discuss ourselves. It is better that the honorable member for Pambashi finds another avenue of dealing with this matter. Otherwise, discussing ourselves seated in here is not allowed. And let's try to avoid it. We move on to the honorable member from Pika, who raised the matter about the abductors of the mobile money agents, that there is news today that some of them have escaped from the prison, and that the nation is worried about the safety of the Zambians. This matter seems to be urgent. I'm going to direct the Minister of Home Affairs maybe to come up with a ministerial statement next week. Next week on Thursday. The next matter was raised by the honorable member for Petauke. The honorable member for Petauke is talking about the low wages by some of the people in his constituency. Again, this one, honorable member, I would advise you to find another avenue so that you bring facts to the House as you raise that question, because as at now we don't know which bakery that is, and then we don't even know how many people are affected. It is important that you find another avenue of bringing this matter to this House. Thank you. We make progress. Her Honor the Vice President's question time. The Leader of Opposition.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to ask our Honor the Vice President a question. Your Honor the Vice President, preventing an unjust and dishonest government is a unique challenge because constitutional office holders, senior government officials, political party members, maybe collectively known as PEPs, are uniquely able to control constitutional controls and safeguards like Auditor General's office. Your Honor the Vice President, in the recent past, there's been some growing panic by your government around the much-awaited Auditor General's office. There's been a number of changes, arrests and transfers. The Auditor General's report, yes. Thank you for that correction. My question to you, Your Honor the Vice President, with all these happenings around the Auditor General's office, do we expect to see a credible report that can be relied upon even by this Honorable House? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Her Honor the Vice President.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I'd like to thank the Honorable Member for Porokoso and Leader of Opposition in the House for that question, except the Honorable says there is growing panic in government. No, there is no panic. We are moving according to our agenda and manifesto. And therefore, when anything happens that the member may suspect is being done out of his own suspicion, that is not true. But the issue of credible, I think credible audit to come out of what is happening now, I can assure the Honorable that there will be credible audit. Madam Speaker, we have gone through this before. Last time, I did say nobody owns an office. If that is what is happening, that there could not be another vice president, if I collapsed today, then we are in trouble, because there should be somebody to replace me immediately. That is the way it is. And therefore, to say the Auditor General, because some people maybe have been transferred or arrested or whatever it is, then it impacts on the audit that will be, made available to this House and to the nation. It's not correct. It's not correct. We are painting a picture like some people are the officers. No, I believe that there should be a credible audit report produced by those that are working now. Let us be sincere. We are in a situation, and this must come here. And it is up to the people that are working to be sincere and produce that which is expected of them. Thank you, Madam.
The Honorable Member from Kana.
Madam Vice President, I know that you have not stopped listening to good reasoning. And my little experience on my journey through leadership tells me that the hallmark of great leadership is being able to go back on your decisions if the people you lead questions your decisions. Madam Vice President, there is a wide-ranging debate by the people that you lead. NAPSA financed a road from Ndola to Kitwe. NAPSA financed a road from Kitwe to Chingola. And as we speak, Madam Vice President, NAPSA is getting returns on those investments. And in these two instances, Madam Speaker, or Madam Vice President, a foreign contractor was engaged to do the Kitwe-Chingola road and never paid with interest. What your people are saying, Madam Speaker, over the decision of government on the Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway is that they do not object you undertaking that project. All they are questioning is they don't mind even if you single-sourced that foreign entity or a group of entities.
The Honorable Member from Kana, can you summarize your question? Because you're standing into a debate.
No, I'm now asking the question, Madam Speaker. The people, Madam Vice President, are not minding whether you even single source if there's so much interest in that SPV. All the people are asking, is it not prudent for government to change course on the model you have used to do the road from Lusaka to Ndola by putting together resources both from NAPSA and workers' compensation who have sufficient resources as we speak to finance that project, so that when you pay, when you engage a contractor that is foreign, you will not then give them strategic national assets in the name of toll gates to collect money for 23 years. But instead, NAPSA and workers' compensation will be the ones to collect the revenues for 23 years. Is it not prudent for government to backtrack on this very wrong move arising from the outcry from the public, to engage a foreign company to do that road, and then NAPSA gets the investment from the target? Is it not prudent, Madam Vice President? I ask this, Madam Speaker.
The question is clear, Honorable Member. I think
this is the last part, Madam
question.
Speaker.
No, you've asked your question. Let's allow their Honor the Vice President to respond. You can take your seat, Honorable Member. Her Honor the Vice President.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I would like to thank the Honorable Member from Ghana for that question. Except, Madam Speaker, and I'll say this before I come to, look at what the Honorable has said. He says if people question your decision, you should think back. And that is true. That is who we are. We are a listening government. But we also listen to reason. We listen to reason. And we have a mandate to govern. People have put trust in this government for this time to govern. We have not made it. It's very important what I'm saying. Because if we are going, Minister of Infrastructure, get derailed with every reason, that will not be correct. The previous government had an opportunity to do this work. It could have been done, and today we would not be talking about it. I think, allow me to speak, honorable members.
Honorable members, can we please listen in silence? You've asked a question. Give us space to respond.
I am definitely answering the question. There is nothing impossible about this question. I'm saying this, Madam Speaker, because a ministerial statement was issued on the floor of this House. And the people participated. So are we going to remain in one place like a record in a groove, stuck in a groove? No. And honestly, if we were to follow the law of repetitive, the tedious repetition, we would probably say we can't go on. But I will try to answer again. I will try to say, we have decided on this model. And for people to say NAPSA has all the resources to fund this, it's failure to understand what this concession is all about. This concession is not going to be fully funded by NAPSA. Maybe we need to come out with all the figures. NAPSA is only a fraction. And NAPSA gets equity in this, concession. Colleagues, honorable members, and the people out there, last time I think I said these are some of the things that should unite us, because it is good for us. It is good for NAPSA to finance. It is good because at the end of the day, this is Zambian money working. I wish NAPSA had the capacity to finance the entire project, so that then everything is kept here in our country. So, for the members to say, no, this is bad, that is your thinking, and the opportunity was there. Allow this project to go on for the good of the Zambian people. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Mandevu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I honor the Vice President. I'm aware that you gave us a statement on floods, but I'm compelled to ask this question to you on behalf of the people of Mandevu and Lusaka because of the things that you said in your statement, especially in Lusaka, have not happened in my area, Mandevu. On the 9th of February, we had unprecedented floods, which resulted in the submerging of homes. And as a result, a lot of property was damaged. A lot of bridges were washed away in Ngombe, Kabanana, and the technical team did the evaluation, and some of the bills are over 5 million kwacha, which cannot, I mean, the CDF cannot contain in terms of funding the 5 million kwacha works. I would like to find out, Madam Vice President, we saw in the past where there are floods, DMMU would go with tents, evacuate people, give foodstuffs, just like you were submitting. We have not seen your office in Lusaka come to assist the people in repair of bridges, mitigate the people in terms of foodstuff that was destroyed. When are we going to see your office, the DMMU, come to assist the people of Lusaka, and in particular Mandevu? A disaster is what it is. Are you scared to do emergency procurement?
Member, can we have one question which I thought I got? When are you coming to Lusaka, especially Mandevu?
The people of Mandevu are concerned because DMMU is supposed to respond to calamities. CDF emergency fund is only 700.
Honorable member, you are now.
When are we going to see the DMMU come on the ground to assist the people of Lusaka and Mandevu in particular? I thank you.
Her Honor the Vice President.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I would like to thank the Honorable Member for Mandevu for that concern. What I had said in the statement is what I expected to happen. If the Honorable Member is truly concerned, did he even have to wait? Because even within Lusaka, there are areas where we have given tents. So if your people are flooded, surely you sit there because there has been no rain in the past 2 days. You have been sitting there. You can't say there is this area that has been. This government, honorable members, is responding to floods. And you don't even see the 5 million as too big. Please, it's not you to decide that we cannot do a very important crossing point or bridge because of a 5 million. This government is ready to spend for the people's lives. So I'll just invite the honorable member to come to DMMU. DMMU is there. We have the foodstuffs. We distribute the foodstuffs. If there are people in your constituents that really don't have the food, please come. We have food readily available to help our people. That is who we are. So don't sit and come and make a political statement here. You care for the people, come, and we will do exactly that to help our people. In fact, for those, last time I did mention, Honorable, that for those who are in flooded areas where it is difficult to even pump out water, we have agreed with them right now, paying out so that they can find alternative accommodation at government cost. Because there are areas where water is actually coming from the ground, and it's very difficult even if you pump out. We are working, Honorable. DMMU is your office, it's people's office. You are free to come. I can talk a little longer. I think on this matter I can take a little longer. Thank you.
The honorable member for Pambashe.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Your Honor, the Vice President, the people of Luapula wants to know what is happening on Sujirite. Your Honor, the Vice President, you saw the video by the people of Chembe demonstrating, citing that 4 trucks were seen leaving the mine site loaded with Sujirite. only one truck was impounded. They are wondering, where are the other 3 trucks? And further, Madam Speaker, the police in Central Province did confirm that 3 UPND officials went and saw them claiming the ownership of Sujirite before His Excellency the President could fire those that he disciplined. But after establishing the truth that Sujirite came from the Muhombe mine, His Excellency the President did the right thing by dismissing those that could have been involved. But those 4 UPND officials, including your provincial youth chairman, who went in trying to block the cause of justice by lying that that Sujilite was mined from their mine, trying to prevent the course of justice, and by giving false information to a public office. What are you doing to those of your 3 officers that went in trying to prevent the course of justice, and the 3 trucks, the chiefs, including one of our senior chiefs in Mwataga, Zambia, are concerned and asking, where are the 3 trucks for Sujirite gone? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Her Honor, the Vice President.
Yeah, Sujirite. Yeah. Thank you. The honorable member is from Luapula and Sujilite. I will say, to start with, Madam Speaker, that a comprehensive statement was again issued on this issue. And a lot of things, honestly, that the honorable member has said are things that I'm not aware of. That is speculation. If that is true, if the investigative wings are working on this, let us know. But I don't receive the report of the investigation step by step. So, Honorable, when you talk of 4, I'm sure there will be witnesses to say there were 4 trucks. We saw them. Yeah, you may just offer yourself to give witness. So, colleagues, an issue like this is extremely speculative. People are being called, they are part of this, they are what? It is all speculation. We are a country. Let us allow the investigations to go on and see what is the true status of this matter, rather than us here trying to be court, trying to be investigators, trying to be. I am not aware of those 4 tracks. What I know is what every other Zambian knows. Something beyond that would be up to you, the investigator, and also to help the other investigation, government official investigators, on what you know. That is what we move. Honestly, I don't know about the 4 trucks. I know about the one which was impounded. My staff have been disciplined.
Thank you. Please, Honorable Member, don't engage the Vice President while seated. The Honorable Member for Bwana Mkubwa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Your Honor, the Vice President, for the answers you are giving to the Zambian people. Our Honor, the Vice President, us, day in, day out, if you look at the Auditor General's report, Ministry of Agriculture is always there in terms of fertilizer procurement. And as I speak, even in the outstanding issues, there are still issues on procurement of fertilizer. Section 46(1) of the ZPP Act 8 number 2020 stipulates what qualifies for direct bidding, availability from a single source, due to emergency, need for compatibility, which with the coming in of capital fertilizer, who are getting, I think, 70,000 metric tons of compound D, this does not qualify under direct bidding. However, this same act brings in, it should bring in value for money, private sector participation.
The honorable member for Bwana Mukubwa, you are debating. Find a way of summarizing your question, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Vice President, my question is, we need to ensure that there's private sector participation in some of these tenders. What method are we using to procure fertilizer from capital fertilizers? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Her Honor, the Vice President.
Don't debate while seated. So. Madam Speaker, thank you very much. And I would like to thank the Honorable member for that very important question. It gives an opportunity to us to continuously talk about the issue of procurement of fertilizer during this time of government. The Honorable member, if we all listened carefully, said this issue is always there. So don't start pointing finger. If we are following the question, the Ministry of Agriculture, he mentioned, has always been there. And we are working towards stopping it being there always. Of course, because we have been used to live in suspicion, we always suspect why something is happening. Honorable, I think when you talked of the Act and how it provides for direct or is it single sourcing, you mentioned two things which I thought were kind of put together. The issue of emergence and the only supplier or compatibility. Those are the issues. For us, we have to go back. We have a manifesto that fits into here to start with. When we have one local supplier who is well able, we must encourage them to start with. This is positive discrimination. This is what it is. You can supply under this. Yes, it is lawful. It is lawful. Single sourcing is within the law. So let us not argue for things that are good for us, colleagues. Sometimes you even overexpose yourselves. Yeah. This single sourcing is within the law. So the Honorable was giving conditions under which the law applies. And this is what I'm saying. When there is one supplier who is producing that commodity, why should you start looking for others? And, oh yeah, this is a single supplier. And in our manifesto, we said we will promote local industry.
Honorable members, please don't interject
colleagues,
with the response by the Honor the Vice President.
I think this we must look at as positive. We are working within the law. We have the provision within the law. And also it is good for Zambia because we need to grow the industry. We need to allow our own manufacturing here to grow. We should no longer continue to be a trading nation. We should start producing our own. And the capital has proved to be good. Because I know somebody will say, what? Last year, capital started production in July. And when the allocation or the suppliers were given the amounts, they did. They totally managed to give to the areas where they were allocated to. This thing is important for job creation. This is our campaign. Every time, colleagues, you import, Honorable Lawyer Lukasha, every time you import, you are actually exporting jobs. Don't you want your people in Lukasha to get jobs. We want them to get jobs. If we continue getting fertilizer from somewhere, one, it is also expensive. Remember the three things that we have given. It is important. Are they meeting this criteria? We have said we need the right price. Yeah. Colleagues, this is helping us to be able to give fertilizer at the right price, or at least lower than we would get if we got somewhere. The quality, and we have said timely delivery. When these are made, then this is the preferred route indeed, the preferred supplier, and we will continue. When you create a company, we will be affirmative to you. We will ensure Honorable Chilangwa has a company. We will buy if he does well and is able to deliver. This is who we are. We don't do things politically. We do things to help Zambians. So come on.
The Honorable Member for Chitambo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I honor the Vice President. Good morning. I note here that the consortium to do the PPP for the roads has been given to three, which is AVIC, China, Seventh Group, and this name which I'm failing to pronounce, whether Jingsang Communication. And I note that these three are all owned companies by the Chinese government. And these are parastatals. And I note the minister there is nodding his head. Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, we are saying this is a private thing which must be done by a private company. By a private company. Kindly confirm, Madam Vice President, that NAPSA will give money to the Chinese government to come and do a road here in Zambia. Through this tender. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Her Honor the Vice President.
Madam Speaker, thank you.
Order.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Chitambo. Honestly, sometimes you don't have the answers. Avik has been here for, because the people already know the answers. Are these questions just for the sake of talking or to mislead? I think no money is going to go to China here. It is going to work here. And it will be paid back. That is here. So what are we talking about? No. I will assure you that NAPSA is not sending any money to China. It is here. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Momba.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Your Honor, the Vice President, last week or so, we saw a report where the Anti-Corruption Commission froze about 41 bank accounts with millions of dollars and millions of Zambian kwacha. And then the same week, the Drug Enforcement Commission seized about 72 motor vehicles, very expensive, Land Cruisers and Prados. Your Honor, the Vice President, when is government going to issue out the list of those whose accounts were frozen? Maybe that question, one of the Vice President will address the concern which Honorable Jamba rose, although I know, Madam Speaker, you did curtail him When is the list coming out, Your Honor, the Vice President? Thank you.
Her Honor, the Vice President.
Thank you very much. Honorable member for Momba, 41 bank accounts with millions of US dollars and Zambian kwacha, 72 motor vehicles. When is government going to release the names of the owners of these bank accounts and the motor vehicles? I would just say, Madam Speaker, that this will be done at the appropriate time because this is still under investigation. If we release names now, people may just, it's not even about running away. They can, after all, they already know. They may be running away right now because they know their accounts are frozen. But on our side is to ensure full investigations are, Honorable Bwacha. The point I am saying is people also, in as much as we are going through to ensure that these vices are curbed or stopped completely, we should also protect those who may be under investigation and be proved innocent. But if the name is already in public, it is not easy to clean up in this matter. I am sure the investigative wings, when they are sure of who, we will see what happens, whether they will be arrested, whether indeed motor vehicles will be given back to some. That is where we are. Right now, we cannot release the names. It's a little too early. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Kawambwa.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Your Honor, the Vice President, you earlier on alluded to the fact that you have the mandate to govern. Nobody's fighting about that. Nobody's even arguing because during the last election, President Hakainde Hichilema got 2.8 million votes. But do you know that 2.8 million people are not there anymore? They've disappeared. You are alone.
The Honorable Member for Kawambwa, let's not debate.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just want to agree with Her Honor the Vice President, being a good person that I am. Madam Speaker, the reasons are very simple why they are no longer there. 48 houses, sewage lights, fertilizer, and now we have the Ndola Lusaka Road. The Lusaka Ndola Road is a raging debate right now. And Your Honor, the Vice President, why are you feeling so comfortable defending things which are not defendable? The Ndola Lusaka Road is a good project, but the financing model is questionable by most Zambians. Is this what corruption does to people? Even defending things that are not defendable?
Order, Honorable Member. What is your question?
My question is, to Honor the Vice President, do you know that you are alone on this project, especially the financing model? Zambians are not with you on the financing model. Are you aware that you are all alone? I thank you.
Her Honor the Vice President.
I don't know what barometer the Honorable Member is using to know that the 2.8 people are not with us. They are with us. Let me.
Can we allow the Vice President to respond?
You spoke, sir. I am saying the 2.8 million plus are still there. The Zambians that understand that, because what you are talking about is most of it to do with the economy. The Zambians understand that when something has been destroyed, it takes a lot of time to rebuild. This road, we are not paving a road, madam. We are not imagining a road, madam. This is a road which was there. Colleagues wanted to do that road at 1.25 billion. And now we are talking when it is 577 million, not billion. Surely, let us work together to support the good things. I've explained about fertilizer. I don't know about 48 houses, what you are talking about, because these existed in their time. They failed to resolve it. Why didn't you arrest those people? Why should you talk about an odd case that was in your time? Colleagues, this is not the way to go. And I'll tell you that we don't just defend for the sake of defending. And I'm alone. Hey, am I alone? I am with many. These are representatives of the people. And the people are seeing the genuineness of this government. Difficult. Yes, Madam Speaker. We never promised that all will be rosy. We actually did indicate. The Zambians, when they were voting, they knew things would be rough. To undo what was wrongly done. I still will say, colleagues, looking at the rate we were going, are you not wondering how we have managed to give free education? Are you not wondering how we have reduced the road project from 1.25 billion to 577? Are you not wondering, my honorable Sani Kampiongo, how we were able to employ, no, Honorable Chilufia, are you not surprised that we could employ today over 12,000 health workers? Are you not concerned, Honorable Leader of Opposition? Are you not saying, is it magic that they could employ so many teachers? Are you not surprised that we are continuing to work on roads that were stalled? Are you not surprised that we can give 28 million to every constituency? Are you not surprised that we have reinstated meal allowance? Are you not surprised? Colleagues, Honorable Member for Kawambwa, this is a very serious matter when you start saying that the people of Zambia are no more, they are the 2.8. Because you premised this, your question with this. And that's why I have to respond. Because when you want to be political, I can be political too. Let us ask whichever manner I think we are able to respond in the correct manner. Yes, your concerns. I think the 48 houses, we will deal with it if you failed. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Shiwangandu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Your Honor, the Vice President, last week I posed a question to you regarding the cancellation of fertilizer procurement by His Excellency the President. This week, the ministry has indicated that they've done the single assessing, which is a big concern, as our chairperson for Public Accounts Committee has stated. Your Honor, In response to my question last week, you said the cancellation was to ensure that you implement what you are calling positive segregation, to ensure that your citizens participate in these activities. Your Honor, I want you to inform the nation, knowing that I know you officially opened this United Capital Fertilizer Company. Your permanent secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture has expressed reservations by saying they are yet to do due diligence on this company, whether they are manufacturing or indeed they are also just importing fertilizer. That's a PS, Madam Vice President. And
what is your question? What is the question, Honorable?
He has cautioned this company that if they find that they are not producing and they are also just importing, they will cancel the contract. Can you share with this August House, Madam Vice President, since you are saying positive segregation, who are the positive segregation? Who are behind this United Capital? Are they Zambian citizens? We would like to know. And what justification was there to use single sourcing, which is against the law, as we were told by the Public Accounts Chairperson? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Her Honor, the Vice President, so that we allow one last member.
Thank you, Madam. And I thank you, the Honorable Member, for Shiwangando. There was no cancellation. I think that's what I said last time. It's just realigning this. The adverts are still ongoing. The adverts are ongoing, except they are in two parts, isn't it? We have the international that allows every bidder, and then we have also the local where we have done direct bidding for allowing our people. That is the positive discrimination or segregation. That is what we have done. So, we... Can I remember what he said? Sorry. Who are the owners? Yes. This is a Zambian registered company. Even under the law, you don't go to the owners unless you are lifting the veil, Council. There is no criminality. Now you know, that I know that part. Honorable. They have committed no offense for them to be brought into this debate. To know the owners. Now we are dealing with the company manufacturing. The issue that you allege I'm using allege because I didn't hear, that my PS said we don't know whether they are importing or manufacturing. I think I would agree with him, standing here. Because what we know is they are manufacturing. But in case that was found, you know what we would do. But we know that they are manufacturing. And you said I went to launch that. You are right. And we have access to that. And we see machinery. We see the manufacturing going on. So, I think all of you should feel free to go there. But if truly they are importing, then that would be deception. But for now, we don't know that. If you have evidence of them importing, please bring it. That is all we need to do to work together. But believe you me, sitting on this side of Madam Speaker, we know that they are manufacturing. You know something better, something else, just bring it to our attention so that we can work together. Great. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Mwembeshi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Your Honor, the Vice President. Your Honor, the Vice President, we haven't forgotten. Now, the people are asking questions, serious questions. There was gassing. We haven't gotten the answers about gassing. We have people who were buying fire tenders. We haven't gotten the answers from them. We had people who were getting fraudulent contracts. We haven't gotten answers from them. There are people who are getting very rich all of a sudden we have not gotten any answers. We have been people who shot even a prosecutor there. We haven't got any answers. Madam Speaker, these people today, let me just say something. Madam Speaker, when you are killing a snake, sometimes you hit at the wrong side and the snake continues meandering around. It seems to me, Madam Speaker.
Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members.
Yes, Madam Speaker, Your Honor the Vice President, you know a sinner can be running away from a shadow. Now,
What
I've
is
seen that.
honorable member from Mwembeshi? What is your question?
Yes, I'm coming. Madam Speaker, Your Honor the Vice President, these people who did these atrocities, just for only information, they have gathered and are here. And they are speaking so much loudly without even remorse. And the people out there are saying, what is the government? 2 years. We are letting them sit here.
Honorable member, order.
You cannot be pointing at us like that.
Honorable member.
You can't. You cannot be pointing at us like that. Who do you think you are? Sit down.
Order,
Sit down,
honorable member, order.
Allah, you think you're going to have it easy here?
Order, honorable members, when we give you an opportunity to ask a question, please use that opportunity well. There was no need for you to describe all the situations. We are interested to hear your question, honorable member from Mwembeshi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Your Honor, what are you doing? Is the government going to arrest these people? Why are you not arresting them? They have gathered.
Yeah. Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. I'm not sure whether Her Honor the Vice President understood the question. Your Honor the Vice President, do you have any answer for that question? We still have got 16 minutes, 16 seconds.
I don't think I fully understood. Maybe you can repeat the question.
Madam Speaker, let me explain slowly so that she can get the answer. What I said is that there were people who actually committed atrocities in this country. Some of them got land from Kawena.
Honorable members, order. That is the problem which we have when our questions are so loaded and you are fighting against time. Now it's even time up. Please, in future, let's try to summarize our questions because we've only got 45 minutes.
Those people.
Order, honorable members.
Your Honor, the Vice President.
Order, honorable member for that.
Why has he got the mic?
Order, honorable members. Order. have order. We want to make progress. We want to make progress.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for according the people of Isoka to ask a question, Honorable Minister for Infrastructure. My question is 192. I thank you.
Thank you. There is an indication for a point of order. The Honorable Member for Chitambo, what is your point of order?
Madam Speaker, our standing orders 204, 2J is very clear about how a member should demonstrate and treat him or herself in the House. Honorable Minister of Commerce, I saw him, Madam Speaker, raising his hand, demonstrating a symbol for the UPND. Cameras are there, Madam Speaker, we can still get that. Was he in order to raise that symbol in this House of the people of Zambia against our standing orders? I need your serious ruling, Madam Speaker.
Order, honorable members. Let's look at the cited standing order. A member shall not shout political party slogans or display political flags, emblems, or any such articles in the House. For me to make a ruling, I think I need time, because what I saw actually on the right were people waving, but we have to see under camera what really happened so that we can truly say that the Honorable Minister of Commerce did indeed show some political signs. So I'll reserve my ruling. The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Member for Isoka, Honorable Nakaponda, is asking the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development the following questions. A, why the construction of the Isoka-Mbesuma Kasama Road has stalled. B, when the project will resume. C, what the cost of the outstanding works on the project was as of June 2022. And D, what the time frame for the completion of the project is. Madam Speaker, government answers as follows. A, the construction of the road section between Besuma and Kasama, which is 110 kilometers, was upgraded to bituminous standards in 2014. The construction of the road section between Isoka and Mbesuma, which is 60 kilometers, has stalled due to budgetary constraints. B, the works on the section of the road between Isoka and Mbesuma will resume when the required funds have been mobilized. C, the cost of outstanding works on the Isoka-Mbesuma road as of June 2022 will be known once the contractor has been engaged to undertake the works on the road section. D, the estimated time frame for the completion of the works on the project will be known once the design for the required works have been finalized. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
honorable members, today being the last day for the backbenchers, can we please use this time wisely so that those that haven't debated will be given time to do so? Because next week is for the executive to respond to the debates by the backbenchers. The honorable member for Chinsali, is it a bending point of order?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
You can go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to rise on a point of order. I rise on this point of order pursuant to Standing Order number 65, number 65, 1B, which is about the content of speech, and it says that a member who is debating shall ensure that the information he or she provides to the House is factual and verifiable. Madam Speaker, during the Vice President question time, when the Vice President was responding to the question that was raised by Honorable Chilangwa, the Vice President indicated that the government has reduced the cost of the Ndola to Lusaka Dio Carriageway from $1.2 billion to 500 and something million. Now, Madam Speaker, yes, I do understand that the contractor it will cost him 500 and something million dollars, but that cost, that is not the cost to the government. The cost of the project to the government, it is the total value of the toll gates that will be collected by the contractor, and that will accrue to the contractor for the period of 22 years, or the period over which they will be collecting the toll gate fees. So which means that the cost to the government of the project as it is, we do not know. So was the Vice President therefore in order to provide inaccurate information to this House and to the general citizenry? I seek your serious reading, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable member. Your point of order was almost like a debate. It's supposed to be brief and precise. However, also, Her Honor the Vice President's question time, it has been completed. We cannot go back to the matters that were raised by Her Honor the Vice President. What I would advise you, honorable member, is just find another avenue to raise your complaint or your question. We make progress. The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development. I don't know whether you had completed the response.
Madam Speaker, I had completed the response. I'm awaiting follow-up questions.
Follow-up questions, the Honorable Member for Namwala.
Thank you so very much, Madam Speaker. Through you to the Minister. Minister, may I know whether when funds are available, we shall proceed with the same contractor, or you'll consider re-advertising for the new one? Minister, I submit.
The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the Honorable Member for Namwala. In fact, more clarifications. The earlier contract lapsed in November 2021, and a new contract is being procured following the allocation of funds. So that is the answer. The contract has lapsed. There will be a new process for procuring a new contract. Thank you, Madam.
The Honorable Member for Isoka.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, do you have any immediate plans to have the road completed under the given circumstances? Madam Speaker, in Bemba there's a proverb which says, "Apa komaila nondo, ni shipali ubulema." Meaning, where one keeps bringing the issue over and over again, it means there is a unique challenge, Madam Speaker. apa komaila nondo ninshipali ubulema bankombo minister. Madam Speaker, last term I went to Kasama through the same road. When I reached the pontoon, I had to come out of my vehicle and walk in the water. I was almost caught by a crocodile, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, could you kindly work on this road, please? I submit, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, before we lose our Honorable Member by being eaten by crocodiles.
When I look at her, I'm sure she's capable of swimming across the Chambeshi River if there is a crocodile. We remind ourselves that this contract commenced in 2018. And due to cost escalations, it has gone up. That we're talking about this 60 kilometers, which she's interested in. The contract for the construction of Besuma Bridge along the Kasama to Isoka Road, where she was almost killed by crocodile, in Malole Parliamentary Constituency, was awarded to Messrs. China Railway 7th Group Limited at a contract sum of 84 million kwacha. The works on the project had stalled since January 2020 during their time, with overall physical progress at 28%. The works on the project will resume following the allocation of funds in the 2023 Road Sector Annual Work Plan. The answer here is that already there is an allocation of funds during the 2023 Road Work Plan. And that's why I said to the Honorable Member for Namara that the original contract has lapsed and the new contract will be worked out. So far, 27.7 million kwacha has been certified for works undertaken on the project, out of which 10.6 million has been paid to the contractor. So I don't know what this hard-working government can say on this particular subject. We have talked about Besuma subject because the Honorable Member from Malole raised that. Now, when we say funds have been allocated in the 2023 budget, I think that should be a clear indication that whether Nondo has done anything or said something, the work is being done. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chinsali.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to seek a clarification from the Honorable Minister. Madam Speaker, the 60 kilometers which is being referred to here from Mbesuma to Kafwimbi, which is in Isoka, passes through, it's actually in Chinsali. So now, I want the Minister to be very clear, because I have heard him talk about the Mbesuma Bridge, then also the road. Because as far as I know, I served as a member of parliament here, Madam Speaker, from 2016 to 2021, I think you know. There has been no contractor to do this road. So now when the minister says the work has stalled, it has stalled how? When there has been no contractor. The last contract that was there didn't take off in around 2014. It didn't take off. The Attorney General didn't sign the contract. So what does he mean? And when he says that they have allocated 27-point-something million for this year, does it mean they will find a new contractor to do the road? I would like to understand so that it can help to settle those concerns, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much.
The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the Honorable Member for Chinsali for that follow-up question. The answer to the second part of his question, are they going to find a new contractor? I think I've answered that one when I was answering the member for Namala. Whether there was a contract or not, let me repeat, Madam Speaker. The contract for the construction of the Mbesuma Bridge is what he raised along the Kasama to Isoka Road in Malole Parliamentary Constituency was awarded to China Railway 7th Group Company Limited. And I mentioned the amount of money on which this contract was awarded. It lapsed, so there was a contract, otherwise it wouldn't have lapsed. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Next question, the Honorable Member for Kanchivia.
Question 193, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
I apologize, Mr. Speaker. The Honorable Member for Chinsali has come to thank me for the way I answered the questions very well. The Honorable Member for Kanchivia, Honorable Sunday Chanda, is asking the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development two questions. When the rehabilitation of the Mpika Kasama Road will be completed, and the B, what has caused the delay in completing the project? Madam Speaker, the answers are as follows. A, the rehabilitation of the Mpika Kasama Road will be completed as soon as funds are made available. And the B, the delay in completing the project has been due to funding constraints. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Supplementary questions, the Honorable Member for Kanchivia.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the road we're talking about, the Mpika Kasama Road, provides as a gateway to Mpulungu Harbour, which is supposed to be used as for shipment of grain and whatever agricultural produce to the Great Lakes region. Madam Speaker, the people of Kanchivia have lost lives on this particular road. This road, Madam Speaker, is a typical case of 1,000 ways to die. Our interest would be to find out whether the works for the rehabilitation of this particular road have been catered for under the 2023 budget. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure and Urban Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the Honorable Member for the follow-up question. More information. The contract for the periodic maintenance of the Mpika Kasama Road was awarded in two lots. Lot 1 was from Mpika to Chambeshi Bridge, which is about 131 kilometers, which was awarded to Dawik Limited in joint venture with Karen Motors Limited in 2014 at a contract sum of 118.3 million kwacha. Lot 2 was Chambeshi Bridge to Kasama, which is 86 kilometers, which was awarded to China Geo Engineering Corporation in 2016 at a contract sum of 528.8 million kwacha. However, Lot 1 contract was terminated. Subsequently, Lot 2 contract was varied to include works under Lot 1 at a revised sum of contract 1.3 billion kwacha. Physical progress stands at 4%. The periodic maintenance works on the project have since stalled due to cash challenges. The RDA regional office, both from Muchinga and also from Northern Province, carry out holding maintenance under force accounts on the Mpika Kasama Road. However, due to funding constraints, the works being undertaken by the RDA regional manager Muchinga Province has stalled due to cash flow challenges. Works on the said road will resume once funds are disbursed by the National Road Fund Agency. His question was specific, saying is it under 2023 budget? The 2023 budget was debated in this House, and the answers as to what is in it or what is not in it is available in the 2023 budget. You can check on the Yellow Book. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Kanchivia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Yellow Book is a voluminous document
And I think for the purposes of the ordinary people in Kanchivia who might be following this particular conversation, they have a right to know from the executive whether or not there's resources allocated to this particular road, which is in a very bad state, Madam Speaker. And it's not just the people of Kanchivia, it's the road users. Anyone who's going up north using this particular road will agree that this road is a death trap, Madam Speaker. And when you look at the roads being done by the works, the selected pothole patching by RDA at provincial level, Madam Speaker, the size of the potholes on this road are equivalent to some mini open pit mines, for lack of a better term. And the selected pothole patching is not working. Anyone who has been on this road in the recent past will attest to the fact that this road is in dire need of attention. So the people of Kanchivia and other road users would wish to again repeat the question to understand whether or not resources have been allocated to this particular road under the 2023 budget. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you to the Honorable Member for Kanchivia. As a matter of fact, I've been on this road several times. Yes, it is in a bad condition. But if you look at roads around that area, Mpika to Chinsali is west. Mpika to Serenje is west. What has been allocated under the 2023 budget is under force account, which unfortunately deals with patching because of the limit in the amount of money that is available to carry out a full rehabilitation. Concentration at the moment is on finding out solutions to the road between Serenje, Mpika, and Chinsali so that we can make that particular part motorable. Government is fully aware that the Mpika, Kasama, Mbala, Tumplungu requires work. These are some of the challenges that the New Dawn government has in terms of what needs to be done in the road sector. These are the issues we found. We will not shy away from them. We shall address them, but they require resource mobilization. The government is working very hard to ensure that these resources are mobilized. When they are mobilized, this House will be informed and will carry out these works. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Shuangandu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, indeed, we agree with you and acknowledging those stretches, both the three of them, Serenje, Mpika, Chinsali, Mpika, and as well as the same stretch, which is under consideration, Mpika Kasama, are in bad shape. We got a relief when you responded that the stretch between Mpika, Chinsali, which was under consideration through some facility from the European Union, was coming to fruition. And if indeed that's a status, how could you ensure that the force account of Northern Province is supported if that European Union project is coming through? Is it possible that the Northern Province force account can be reinforced so that this particular road can be patched, especially in those dangerous stretches where we have got very huge potholes, just as they are on Serenje Mpika? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure.
Thank you very much. The issue of what is remaining out of the European Fund or the African Development Fund, which funds were being used on the Chinsali, Isoka, Nakonde Road. These international funders are very specific on where you utilize the funds. You have to get permission to utilize. So when you talk about Pika to Chinsali, discussions are underway to see if they would allow us to use some remnant funds on the other projects to use on that particular. You cannot, even when they say use it on Pika to Chinsali, you can divert it to another part without facing severe sanctions. The Honorable Minister, the Honorable former Minister is fully aware of how these things are done. The Kasama and Pika has to have a different arrangement. In the meantime, what we're using is man under force account to patch where it is possible, but ultimately it requires complete rehabilitation. And we ask those on your left really to work in tandem with government when we are looking for funds, when we are trying to structure the economy. It must be a collective effort. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Next question, the Honorable Member for Musanzala.
Thank you, Madam. Madam Speaker, question 194.
The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honourable Member has asked a question, has asked the following question to the Minister of Health: when the government will commence construction of the following mini hospitals in Msanzala parliamentary constituency: A, Nyampande; B, Misolo; C, Ndambwe; D, Chikuse; E, Riverside; F, Sonja; G, Mwanika; and H, Muzenje. Honorable Madam Speaker, government has no immediate plans to commence construction of the following mini hospitals in Msanzala constituency.
Order, Honorable Minister. As the time is 10:40 hours, I suspend business for 20 minutes for health break.
For tuning into Parliament Television, business resumes at 11 hours, and on the floor of the House was the Acting Minister of Health, Honorable Brenda Tambatamba, responding to a question that has been posed by